Hi, everyone. Jennifer Coons here, one of the reference librarians at the Haverford Township Free Library, here with your Reading with Reference for Monday, June 22nd. Today, I wanted to highlight some books that cover a slice of history that not a lot of people are aware of, or at least I wasn't aware of it until I actually met a woman who had experienced this. And many of you know that I am the coordinator for our library's homebound program. And 3 years ago, a woman named Ursula became one of the recipients of our homebound delivery service. She was 97 at the time. She has just celebrated her 100th birthday. She was born in Germany, and when she was 16 years old, or somewhere late teens, she escaped to Shanghai with her mother, and they lived there for a number of years before she finally emigrated to the United States. Shanghai was one of the places where Jews could go that there was no visa required. So where they could no longer escape to anywhere else in the world. They couldn't escape to the United States. They could go to Shanghai. And so this was a culture shock for a lot of them, but I mean, at least they were alive. They were able to survive, but it was much of a bit of a culture shock. They were coming from living a certain way, and then they were living in very crowded rooms, or sometimes barracks. Sometimes they only got one hot meal a day. At the same time, they created this sort of international portion of Shanghai that where people from different nations lived, including the Jews who escaped Germany and other parts of Europe. And they created their own little cultural area. So there were schools, there were cultural institutions like newspapers, musical ensembles, different things like that. At the same time, the whole country was under Japanese occupation. I don't know my history, but Shanghai, the Japanese were occupying China. And so that was not good for the Chinese. And also in 1943, most of the foreigners were also interned in this 1 square mile area of Shanghai called Hongkou. And I've spoken at length with my homebound patron, Ursula, about this. She loves sharing about her experiences. And so I thought I would highlight these books so to give you an introduction, and maybe you can go from there to discover more about this time in history. So the first book is, I guess I'll go from left to right. So Strange Haven is not a book that is at Haverford right now. It is at Swarthmore. You can pick that up directly from Swarthmore. You can call Swarthmore Library and pick it up from there, I believe. Or it looks like we may have van service in the weeks to come. So it might be possible for you to get the book that way. I'm just giving this book, I'm just letting you know this book exists. I honestly don't know if it's going to be, you'll be able to get it in your hands anytime soon, although we are supposed to be going in the green phase. I'm not sure what that means in terms of library materials from different branches of the Delaware County Library System. However, want you to know this exists. Sigmund Tobias wrote Strange Haven. It is a memoir about his experience living in the Shanghai international part of the Shanghai city, escaping from Germany and living there. So these other 2 books are fiction books, and they are available at Haverford. Someday We Will Fly. It is a YA title, but I remember giving this book to the homebound patron that I was talking about before, Ursula, who experienced firsthand the experience, and she really loved this book. So it follows the experiences of a 15-year-old girl whose mother has disappeared. She emigrates to Shanghai with her father and younger sister. They had been circus performers in Europe, and it follows their experiences in Shanghai. And the next title is Shanghai Dream, which is a graphic novel, and this takes a little bit of a different twist. It's also fiction, and it follows the life of a movie director, and his wife is a screenwriter, and they want to create a movie together, but increasingly they can't really do anything as Jews in Germany. The book starts in 1938, 1939, and so they can't emigrate anywhere. They realize they not only can they not make a livelihood in Berlin anymore, but they actually will probably die or be imprisoned if they stay. So they figure out a way to get tickets for an ocean liner to go to Shanghai, and the story follows from there. And there is this theme of this major character Bernard wanting to create this movie, um, just like a fun movie, not have nothing to do with the war at all, and that he's trying to first he conceives it as happening in Germany, and then he's like, maybe when we immigrate to the United States we can conceive it happening in New York, and he finally creates the movie so that it occurs in Shanghai. So these are the three titles. I hope they pique your interest in this very fascinating time in history. There have been some exhibitions I'm going to show you. The Brooklyn Public Library, this is actually last spring, a year ago, they had an exhibition about this very subject with artifacts and interesting things from this time. And I feel very privileged to to continue to have the relationship with my homebound patron who lived through this and has shown me photographs, and we've watched a documentary together. And so there you go. So here are some books which might get you started in this interesting time of history, and I hope you enjoy them. That's it for today. Thank you for being with me. I will see you next time.